Blog Talk Radio.
Hey guys, this is Those Guys with your host, Matt Marrero, along with your other host,
Tristan Walter.
And today, well, it's funny because we have this recorded in advance, but for many of you listening to this, if you are listening to this live, we are so sorry you couldn't get tickets to the new Star Wars movie, but we're very happy that you're listening to this show.
Well, I mean, don't feel too bad. Neither could we. So
neither could we. But we still recorded this in advance anyway for time-saving purposes. It's really funny. It's like, oh, you guys recorded it because you're going? No. But I mean, we're going to do a show, on the new movie once we do see it. But as of right now, I mean, we're doing, Return of the Jedi. What could have been Revenge of the Jedi, by the way, and I'll talk to you about that in a second. Return of the Jedi. And, after that, it's really up in the air for us because Christmas, is around the corner. And, a lot of different people celebrate a lot of different holidays. But I still am trying my hardest, despite all of your, you being Tristan, all of your protests to get you to sit down and watch the Star Wars Christmas special. Or I think it might have been holiday special at the time, and podcast on it. But I know you don't want to do it. So it's really hard because I just know that you don't want to. Tristan, are you alive?
Hello.
Oh, God, okay. I thought, I mentioned Star Wars Christmas special, and I thought, well, he died. You just went completely silent. You got me a little nervous there for a second.
I think I might have cut out, but yeah, okay. As I said, I still don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's what I didn't hear, but yeah, that's what you keep on saying. Either that or, what's funny is you do accept the prequels, though, because that was the next trend of, the next line of just, well, let's go for the prequels. So, yeah, depending on what's going on with us, I mean, again, as you're hearing this, it's Star Wars Wednesday. Not sure what the next Wednesday will consist of. If we can you and I can see episode 7 before the next week, or possibly even, yeah, that's what I was saying, or possibly, because, we're doing this while the movie airs, in theaters, U.S. audiences. So we don't know if it's going to be like, oh, yeah, we'll see that for the week after, or Christmas special. I'm really pushing for the special, but if you don't want to, that's fine. I'm still going to push for it. It might come down to another, hey, Matt, why are we hanging out together, sitting down? Why is there a mic in front of us? What are you putting on the TV?
Why are you duct taping me to the chair?
Yeah, that's almost what happened with Battlefront. Really happy you stayed. I
mean, again, I already told you my feelings for that.
Yeah, I know.
I was happy to play it. I just wasn't.
You don't want to
was
show
wondering if my fears would be realized.
All right, and they weren't for the most part. I mean, what's really funny is you might say, because you kept on playing it, you didn't stop. It's like someone saying, "Oh, this sandwich is terrible. Stop eating it. Stop fucking eating it."
It's more of like, it's not horrible, but I don't want to waste it. I mean, I'm here. I might as well enjoy it. I wouldn't need it again.
But the holiday special, you're just sitting there. You're like, nope, I'm going to throw it all up.
No, yeah, I will.
So I might have to get someone else for that, just for that reason. Thanks.
Yep.
Return of the Jedi, though, here we are. It could have been Revenge of the Jedi, and I say that because apparently, so Lucas wanted it to be Return, but a lot of people that were working with him at the time thought that Return was a bit of a lackluster kind of intro, like kind of like title. So it was. So someone said, let's do Revenge, and then after a while, after all these posters were made that said Revenge and all this stuff, these ads and everything, Lucas thought, wait a minute, Revenge is kind of a Sith thing, though.
Yeah, exactly.
So Revenge is not it's kind of a dark side sort of thing. So he made sure, he was like, no, we have to change it to, back to Return. But even though they had all of these posters, before they were sent out, it was so cool. He basically contacted Star Wars fan club members and just said, hey, I'm selling these to you guys, $9.50. Because think about it, unreleased posters, unreleased posters that will never be released ever. Well, of course they'll release. No, but like not leaks. Just these will never ever see the light of day. You know, like these will never be on a billboard or on a bus or anything. Just hey, you want them, kids? Like,
right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it was really cool. You know, like it's, and of course he made money off of it, which is even smarter. Just they're going to go to waste anyway. So yeah, but so obviously it's Return of the Jedi, and it's an interesting movie. I mean, I don't know how people feel about this movie. I feel like the second movie of the trilogy, the original trilogy, broke the that kind of idea, that mentality of just the sequels always suck. At least to you and I, the sequel. You know, Empire did not suck. Empire Strikes Back did not suck. This one, while not sucking, I do think it was a bit. I did not enjoy it as much as the last two movies. Did not hate this movie at all. It was there's some great parts of this movie, and I really do think that they still had their moments of just wow, you really want to hurt the children watching, don't you? And it's funny too because at one point, Yoda. The reason why Yoda confirmed to Luke, like, hey, like Darth really is your dad, is because apparently Lucas was talking to a child psychologist who said, oh, it is good to do something like that because the kids might think that what Vader said was a lie. Right? Which makes me like, in other words, it's good for the kids to feel like, or, basically feel like, oh, you get validation from a good character like Yoda. Or Obi-Wan, like one of those, the idea of you need a good character to say, like, oh, no, that really, like, he is your father, instead of, like, us assuming, like, oh, of course Vader's telling the truth. It's just like, wait a minute. You know, like, you and I have to, like, jump back into the idea of, like, wait, before it was in the public consciousness, before everyone's like, yeah, no, of course Vader's his dad. It's just like, wait a minute. Evil people lie.
Right.
Yeah,
could still be
but
a
I
trap.
laughed so hard. Yeah, it could be a trap. I laughed so hard, though, because you're the one that fucking did it. I laughed so hard because of the fact that the child psychologist was just like, oh, yeah, you really need to make sure that the kids know that, he's his dad, and you really need to reinforce that. Everything else fucking clears, though. Dead Ewoks. Fucking just this Vader getting his hand chopped off after the last movie where Luke got his hand chopped off. I mean, all those other stuff is just like, oh, family entertainment. Leia in a fucking slave outfit. The other alien getting eaten. The fucking Rancor. Oh, yeah. No, that's just like fun for the whole family.
Everybody getting eaten at the Starlock pit.
Oh, yeah, no, that's just basically, knee slappers. Am I right or am I right? Like, I love it so much. Just the psychologist, hey guys, you maybe, you probably should have asked him about all the other shit too. But I've been making that joke since the fucking last episode that we did, where I think the last movie had a lot more of just like, wow, can we have a mime in here or something to kind of lighten the mood? Yeah. But so this one, I think this like their version of like, oh hey, here's the funny clown, here's the funny mime was just the Ewoks. But then you end up killing the Ewoks, and you're like, oh, wait, our comic relief just became a lot less funny. Because a lot of people try to tell me, and I think that I'm sure you've heard this too, and maybe you even agree. Oh, the Ewoks are in here because comic relief, something to sell to the kids, merchandise. And I'm not going to disagree completely. No. But like, my God, when you start slaughtering your comic relief characters.
Yeah, I mean, it was more than that, too.
No, I really think it was, too.
Yeah. I mean, without the Ewoks, granted,
they were supposed to all be Wookiees.
It was kind of like, two kids throwing rocks at a hornet's nest kind of situation, but at the same time, if they didn't, if the Ewoks hadn't, supplied that distraction for the rest of the rebellion, for the soldiers that were there, they wouldn't have been able to get the shield generator down in the first place. So.
Well, yes, but remember that they weren't supposed to be, like, you would have had the same exact, like, technically, you could have had the same exact script in those ways, like in diversions and fighting and stuff. The only difference is that it would have been Wookiees instead of Ewoks. That was the original plan.
Oh, right. Yeah. I remember that, yeah.
So, I mean, that's why in my head it's just like, oh, yeah, they were just made to be cute and have everyone, be like, oh, cute movie. It's like, look, when that one Ewok saw that his friend had died, I cried.
Yeah.
I cried.
It was pretty bad.
I sat there and I was just like, guys, I gotta pause this thing, man. I'm gonna fucking admit it. I gotta pause it.
I gotta take a minute. I know. God knows what my child's fucking this like. God knows what like younger me fucking like took that as, just like yeah. So okay, so let's talk about the movie because usually we have notes in some type of order. So yeah, something
right,
like that.
We talk about something. We talk about the opening crawl, right? I've talked about it over the last two films. This being the third film. I actually like this opening crawl because barely anything happened during it. Because if you've been hearing our other podcasts, I feel like while there's some cool shit that goes on during these films, the opening crawl sometimes explains the coolest stuff. Mm-hmm. Right? It's funny because this opening crawl, while not explaining the coolest stuff, making you think that nothing cool happened, and you're like, awesome, nothing super cool happened, I can jump into the movie, and it'll be super cool. All of a sudden, when you finally see Luke, you're like, this is not the Luke I know.
Yeah,
this is not the Luke I know. Things happened. No one told me.
Well, I mean, it's weird. Looking at, like, watching them, back to back.
Mm-hmm.
I really wonder how much time elapsed between Empire and Return of the Jedi?
Yeah, because it was not supposed to be 3 years like the other one. It was not supposed to be that long, apparently.
Yeah.
But of course, you know that time went by. However, according to later on in the movie, Luke did not go back to Yoda because my first thing was, oh, Luke went back to Yoda during that time and was like, hey, totally train me to be a super cool Master Jedi.
No.
But that didn't happen.
He did that shit on his own.
Apparently. He was just like, I don't need Yoda with his fucking backwards talk and his... You ever notice it looks like he's being controlled like a puppet? You ever notice that? I do. I don't want that. Like, it's just funny. I'm just like, Luke, what are you doing? Because not just that, too, by the way. I don't know if they... Because, I don't know if they tried to do this as like I'm trying to think of the word, kind of like, damn it. Well, we're live on the air, everybody. I'll explain it to you like this, right? Right, Tristan? In pro wrestling, right? And I know you're going to be like, where the fuck is he going? In pro wrestling, usually the good guys will wear, lighter colors. And good girls, generally good characters will wear lighter colors. The savior is in white or something like that, or light blue or something. And usually, I mean, look, it'll change depending on, certain stories or whatever, but usually it'll be the evil, right, the bad characters that are in all black and things like that. And yes, in cinema, darker colors are liked better because they just work better on camera. So you see Guardians of the Galaxy, Drax is in bright green, right? He's a darker green, more so not even really green at the end of the day. But it's fine, it's a different kind of dark. But literally, Luke comes out in all black, and I'm like, hello, Sith Luke. How you doing? And again, maybe they were trying to go with that kind of theme because it's like, oh, will he join the dark side or will he not, But up until the point where, he saw Vader and then we had Palpatine there and everything, it just felt strange because, like, up until that point, it seemed like Luke was relatively chill and there was no, like, oh, but will he join the dark side? Like, it didn't feel like it was a problem.
Right.
But he was still in all black, and I'm just like, you look like you've already joined the dark side for a little while, and you're trying to kill them from the inside. Right, doesn't it look like that's like, if he had joined Vader, he would be in that black, like, attire? It was strange.
I mean, I've heard it said as it's kind of Luke's reflection of of the realization that Vader is his father. So in a way, he's, I guess, like accepted that point and is sort of reflected in his change in outfit, kind of.
All right,
it was odd,
that.
but yeah.
No, I'll take that. Yeah, I'll take it. So because the thing is, I'm basically bringing this up, at least the first point before we talk about his clothing, just to, bring up the idea that it feels weird that some of Luke's, possibly his best characterization, happened off screen.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. No, the idea of just like, because the idea is just like, Luke, you're a boy. We have to make you a man. Off screen, well, we've made him a man.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's cool. Awesome. Because it's not like he was useless in the second movie, but it's that idea of like, oh, as each movie goes by, Luke becomes less useless. Right?
Yeah.
But the spike between being less useless was just fucking huge from, movie 2 to 3.
I mean, Luke was, okay, to be fair, Luke was already a commander in the Rebel Alliance, like when you saw him in Empire Strikes Back. He just wasn't fully in control of his Jedi powers.
That's what I'm trying to say. Not useless. I said yes, less useless. So, in other words, what I mean by that point is like, you are fully fledged not useless in any shape or form by the time the third movie comes around. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, you basically mastered everything. Not everything, but you've mastered a
Han
decent
kind of
amount.
confirms that too.
Yeah.
I mean, Han even says it like, when he's talking to Chewie in the dungeon, Luke, a Jedi Knight, I'm out of it for a little while and everyone has delusions of grandeur. Luke's crazy.
No, that was great. I loved it. But I still kind of sat there and thought, like, what the hell happened? And that might be their goal of like, oh yeah, no, that's crazy, what happened? But usually, a lot of the stuff that's written and things like that, novels and stuff are not canon, especially now with Disney coming in. I think you know about this. Disney buying everything.
Fuck that.
Disney buying, hey. Disney's not bad, though it does suck. I know, I have to admit, it does suck that even things that were quote-unquote canon, are so, Well, here's the thing. It's either legend or it's non-canon. I don't know what legend status means, but it's the status. So it's either legend or non-canon.
Canon, exactly.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know. I have my own personal feelings about that, and a lot of people aren't happy about that. Because a lot of people love Star Wars for the expanded universe, solitarily, and I don't blame them.
Mm-hmm. No, I don't either. I mean, I do have to yell at you because you said last episode that we did, you said, you said that Boba Fett, you were like, man, he does like nothing in this film. He has done more in this film.
I mean,
granted, he died like, like Goofy would. Like, seriously. No, that is like I wouldn't be like when Boba Fett, when I was like, oh, like what jetpack? And then he flew, all I heard is, oh, that's all I heard. And then the pit just burps, and I'm like, well, you just killed one of the coolest people in the world. Fucking thank you. Fucking thank you. Oh, my God. I mean, look, and it's funny, too, because, go on.
It's kind of funny, like, especially, like, with Boba Fett and even Jabba's palace, like, you don't know anything about Jabba until you see him there and then. And, like, everyone there is all, like, under his thumb and whatever, and everybody is like, oh, the illustrious Jabba, or, like, 3PO, the mighty Jabba. It's like, you're only really given his status, quote-unquote, as how people describe him, and you kind of just have to take their word for it.
Well, I have to admit, I do like that in terms of, okay, it feels a bit like the Penguin, where the Penguin isn't really going to fight you like current-day Penguin shouldn't be able to, like, like older, not like Penguin in the Gotham show in the prequel, or depending on some depiction of Penguin. No, Penguin is a mob boss, right?
Right.
He's a mob boss who lets other people do his work for him, but
right.
he did get
He's not
there.
the one doing the dirty work.
No, but he did get there based on dirty work, based on doing that. And based on, so we don't know Jabba in his early days, but we just know that right now the man is feared and nobody thinks of, because like, look, Jabba didn't eat anybody, but I wouldn't be surprised if he has. So I feel like people are just like, do not mess with Jabba. No, because there's a reason why no one messes with Jabba. I don't know what it is. It could be that whole like mob mentality thing where it's like,
it basically is.
If you take down the head of the mob, who tries to take over the mob, then it's chaos. So we'd rather have Jabba rather than chaos.
It's basically an entire family. Like there's a whole. That's the thing that's really cool about Star Wars. It's like the films give you like the bare bones, but like anyone else can go in and jump in and make a story about like Jabba or Boba Fett and. Yeah, like there is a whole mob of Hutts, and they rule like half of the underworld of the entire galaxy. That's
interesting. I'm surprised it's interesting that I'm surprised the Empire let that like happen.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, the Empire really can't control everything as much as they say they do, and you saw it even in Empire Strikes Back when
faith disturbing.
Well, yeah, that's exactly what he would say, and then he would kill me. But the thing was, like, even Vader was using bounty hunters when it came to tracking down the Millennium Falcon. It's like, oh, you lost him again. Oh, you lost him again. Oh, you lost him for the third time. All right, let's get some other people in here and do this job, because apparently you can't fucking do it.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's probably one of those, like, I mean, nowhere are we going to say the Empire is a completely just government. So,
no.
So yeah, there's some corruption.
It's like that whole thing. I mean, even the captain walking to the other guys working the ship. He says, bounty hunters. We don't need this scum. And yet here you are, still no Millennium Falcon. So you know what? Shut up.
Yeah. So, by the way, I have a question for you. So you saw, you've been watching the movies, back to back. As much as I love Mark Hamill to death, and he's a great-looking man, right? But I have to be honest, the years were not that kind to him over that last, 6-year stretch. Because you watch, I mean, look, I know that as characters, they've been through some shit.
Oh, yeah.
Right? But still, I don't know why. I know, for me, maybe it just feels like 6 years is not a long amount of time.
Right.
So,
although
it just feels like the 6 years
from... Pretty sure Hamill was in an accident of some kind.
Eventually,
at some
not
point.
Before the movie.
No, not before? Okay, that was after.
Oh, well,
okay.
let me check.
I'm not sure, but I know...
If he was, I'm so sorry, we love you. But if he wasn't...
Something about that.
I'm still sorry that we love you, but it doesn't...
Well,
it's not relevant.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I mean, you could even consider that as the characters, too,
yes,
honestly, I'm surprised that Luke wasn't a little more battle-hardened, in the first place.
Yes. No, that does
battle
make
scar-wise. But then again, I guess the Force kind of comes in, handy with that. I'm sure he's gotten out of a lot of close calls.
Oh, okay. This car accident was before the first movie.
Huh. Okay. Interesting.
We were wrong. I mean, no, the amount of wrong that we were was so interesting. Where it's just he looks so much older in the third movie. Well, it has to be because of that. You know what? Of course it has to be, or not. It's like nope, both of you were wrong. I mean, we still love you and we're sorry that happened to you, but yeah, he's doing just fine. God, the amount of wrong we were. But again, live podcast. That's why we love doing this. The ability to be wrong. Live. Either way, though, I mean, I wonder.
Last time, Commander.
No, but seriously though, I mean, I mentioned it more so just people having some fun, having some drinks, maybe doing some other stuff. Because again, that 6-year mark, it goes from Hamill being young, really, really young, and then looking like he really is the teenager, 14,
right.
Not 14, but 16, 17, 18, right?
Yeah.
He looks there. And then by the time, And I know it's just like, Matt, yes, 6 years passed in real life. I know, but like as characters, just somehow it looks like it went from, he's very, very, very young to only about, let's say, 3 years. So maybe that'd be 21, 22, right? Maybe if you want to give it like 6 months or something, 22 and a half. So you look at Return of the Sith, Revenge of the Sith. It's all becoming one movie. Revenge of the Jedi Sith, Part 9, because they added 3 and 6.
There you go.
Part 9. Fucking nailed it. Anyway, so the point is that, I looked at even Harrison Ford, because it was just kind of like, man, because Harrison Ford, just became famous overnight. If you remember us talking about the first movie, did not even know he was famous until he was getting his shirt ripped off by women. So I think he took those 6 years very, very well, because because he's trapped in the carbonite and everything. But when he comes out, I know he's supposed to look like crap because it's like, hey, you were just trapped in carbonite. But even later on in the movie, once he's like just fine, I'm like, man, 3 years passed since the other movie. Like, it's, again, nothing wrong. Again, Harrison Ford, great looking man, but still, it's just 3 years passed.
Yeah,
3 years has passed. It's just interesting because it happens on TV shows too, and it's really. But movies, for some reason, I feel like they're able to cover it up a lot better. Maybe just more movies nowadays. Not trying to make it seem like movies nowadays are so much better, but TV shows, it's always so funny when it's just this character's like, I'm this many, and they're like 8, and then it's a 5-season show, and you're just like, how do we? This, how does this work?
Yeah.
Right? The show goes on for like 10 years. The kid's like 18. It's just like, yeah, we're going to have to address the fact that he's not 8 anymore. The kid doesn't fit into the clothes. Sorry, right? But yeah, by the way, so I'm really happy that it was kind of Luke's plan to come back for R2-D2 and C-3PO, but didn't it seem really fucking cold that he kind of was just like, yeah, you two are the gifts. Like, I know the plan was, oh, don't worry, everything will be okay in the end because we're coming back for you. But, man, they could have died there. Hell, when I saw, that was another thing, too. I was like, psychologist. These droids are real people to us.
Well, I mean,
the way
3PO, 3PO even says it before they go in, Lando and Chewbacca never came back from this awful place, and now you want to go right in the middle of it?
Yeah.
Although
trailer for the new movie's playing in the background.
Oh, jeez.
I have my TV on mute. Go on.
I feel like the whole thing was Luke was trying to avoid conflict in the first place. Like, if he could at least bargain and get them out of there, I don't know how, but without having to have a whole fight scene and destroy the place, then okay, so be it. But I mean, I don't know. It's funny, like, Luke grew up on Tatooine, but I guess he was so out of the way and really not a part of anything that he never really had any dealings. Like, I'm sure he heard legends about Jabba, but, like, I don't know. I wonder if he had any, like, personal gripe with him, like, doing terrible things on Tatooine. But, again, he was probably so out of the way on a moisture farm that, never really came to that.
Yeah.
But I mean,
one thing I want to.
I really wish Vader could have seen that, to be completely honest. Like, I'm sure he probably would have forgot. Well, no, actually, no, he probably wouldn't have. But like,
he would have been proud.
Oh yeah, like I could just see Vader standing there, like, applauding, just like, I couldn't have done it better myself. Well, I mean, I could have, but.
Yeah, I know, I love that. I couldn't have done that better myself, except I could have, and I did.
I mean, I would have just slaughtered him right then and there, but. But you did good too, son.
I would have opened up Jabba, told them all to get in, and blown them up with a grenade. But whatever, son, you did good too with your plan.
Or actually, no, I shouldn't even say that. I should say, daughter, you did the best. You fucking strangled the bastard.
Actually, yeah, probably. Just yes. Just, I love it. Just let the hate flow through you. Oh, Jabba, no. Just getting jokes, no. Love, peace. Just like puts up 2 fingers.
Oh God.
Oh my God.
But I do love that though, the fact that Leia just knocks out the lights and then, wraps a chain around him and fucking strangles him. And granted, okay, Jabba's probably not that strong himself, but he is still quite massive. The fact that she had the strength to fucking, suffocate him is impressive in my book, I mean, for anyone, just to physically strangle this thing.
Sadly, Ula did not fare so well.
No, she got eaten by the Rancor.
No. You know what's very interesting? We always talk about these edits here and there. Some good, some bad. This one I actually find impressive, most impressive. Not even a shitty pun. I'm being so honest. In the 1997 special edition version, right?
Right.
They actually, they added in some new stuff. Oh, when don't they? When fucking don't they? There's an additional scene of her in the Rancor pit. What's really cool is it's a newly shot scene, and the actress Femi Taylor that played her reprised her role 14 years after the original movie was shot.
Wow.
That's cool to me. That's just wow, you didn't just make it out of sticks and CGI. Awesome. I'm sorry, that's how I feel like it. I mean, granted, I love old school special effects, but I feel like that's kind of just the mentality. Just, we got to film a new scene quick. All right, cool. Put a stick right there. Great, we got it. We CGI'd all around it. Great. But no, because I mean, we've had a lot of instances. I can't name them off the top of my head, but a lot of instances that in the first movie, or the fourth movie, for the idea that human characters that were chilling around were replaced by alien characters.
Yeah.
Because. So, I mean, it's really cool that even though she was already an alien, quote unquote, just the idea of just, hey, let's get the actress back.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really cool to me. Also, there's a scene where Boba Fett is actually flirting with the dancers.
Yeah, two other dancers.
Yeah. Yeah, that was actually in the 1997 version. Wasn't the one that I saw. So sorry I couldn't see Boba be really hey girl.
I mean, it's 2 seconds. He doesn't even say anything. He just kind of strokes her cheek or whatever, and then she giggles and he walks off towards Jabba.
I love
pretty much it.
Don't even gotta talk. Boba
pretty much, yeah. The armor does it all, man.
Oh my God!
It seriously does.
Yeah, man. Armor makes the man. Woo!
Hey, I mean, look at how everybody talks about Vader. The armor, the cloak. It's
yeah.
I mean, granted, I kind of like the Jedi, robes better, but I mean, I guess that's just me.
That's just you. Okay, so here's the thing about. I want to bring up something that's a bit controversial, and I usually make jokes, but I'm actually going to be serious here. All right, so happy that Han was free. Good thing. Yeah. Not controversial. Leia being the one to free Han, not controversial. Fucking awesome, because it shows that, she was able to be, tough and strong. And hell, even the way she was, killing Jabba was, tough and strong. But the problem is the way she was enslaved. I mean, at least I consider, a lot of people consider it very controversial to this day. I don't know about back then, but at least today they do.
Yeah.
And it's a very interesting thing because in no way should the sexuality be controversial, in my opinion, because, I don't think that just because she was in a bikini, it's the idea that, oh, no, think of the children. It's it didn't get into, Rule 34 territory. You know what I mean? She's just in a bikini. You go to the beach, you bring your kid to the beach, fucking there's women in bikinis. What are you doing?
And I mean, Jabba's a gangster. He has a bunch of, dancers there already. I mean, it's just kind of adding someone else to the roster kind of thing for Jabba. I mean,
in a bad way, which I think is great, and I'm happy that you're getting on that track because I don't want to defend this in terms of saying because yes, we are, you and I and a lot of people, not just men, a lot women too, and and trans and anyone out there can sit there and go, wow, that outfit is hot. And I don't think we have to sit there and, say that it's not hot because, look, enslavement isn't sexy, right?
No.
But the outfit is attractive, right? It really, it's a nice outfit. More so, right, sexuality isn't the problem here. And, the idea that she was enslaved is only, and again, it's the only way I'm defending it, really, is the idea that Jabba's a bad guy. Sometimes you have to have, like, bad things. So, the other alien woman, I would have really preferred if she wasn't killed because she was doing her damn job. If you want to call it a fucking job. Because she wasn't getting fucking paid, but she was doing her damn job. And he was still just like, nah, just, you didn't do it once.
That's the thing.
We're going to...
Jabba kills when he wants to because he can.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's... I think, sometimes bad things need to happen, and it's horrible, I will admit. I'm not like I'm saying that they should, but, these are characters, this is a story, and sometimes I do feel like these bad things have to happen to show you how bad the person is, because I feel like you can't do certain things. Again, I'm not like trying to say like, it should have went even further. No. Hell, in my opinion, it could have even been removed. But it being there, not in any fucking future movies, mind you. I just mean from the actual script itself during making it. But because it was there, right, the idea is, hey, he's a bad guy, and if it wasn't there, it would have made him look not any nicer in a way. You've been like, if that scene wasn't there, man, isn't Jabba the Hutt the best guy in the universe? He really is. No, but at the same time, if you remove stuff like this a lot, you're going to have a situation, most of the time, where you kind of sit back and go, all right, what makes this person so bad? Because they might end up being less evil because of the things they're not allowed to do. Right? So, it's like saying, let's say a character, was racist, right? Now, racism is bad. Right. So you would hope that a racist would be in the Empire, not with the rebels.
Well, granted, they pretty much are.
That's basically, that's technically what it really is. Even though, yes, if you want to get intricate, you can talk about how the idea of like, someone's beliefs doesn't, have to equal what side they fight on. They could still have, other opinions.
Yeah,
accurate.
That's true.
But still, getting to the basic idea of just, this is a movie, I want to eat my fucking popcorn. You would hope that the bad, the people with the bad qualities are on the bad side, people with the good qualities are on the good side. So, especially when the movie is definitely being marketed to children, making it a bit more simple like that. So, again, this was a bad thing to do, but, of course, it is hard in a way that, the kids watching, I think, while knowing that, Jabba was bad and that he did a bad thing, could possibly be blinded by the idea of Leia in the gold bikini, and I do think that has kind of, in a way, detracted from the idea of, like, remember, what Jabba did was bad. I mean, we all know it, but we don't really talk about it a lot. We just go, like, the gold bikini. And I feel like we don't exactly focus on, why she was in the fucking bikini.
I mean, I feel, okay. I mean, all right. Trying to think of how to word this. I mean, I feel like it would have been worse if, I don't know, if there was a scene where Leia was forced to dance. That would have been worse. Like, the way it was presented, honestly, I think it was tasteful. It was okay. And in the end, Leia, fucking kills him anyway, so...
No, and that's also a good scene as well. I think of that, they needed something to give her her sense of power back. Again, not sexuality being the problem, the idea of being enslaved, because you don't want the idea that this female character who has been really strong throughout the past two movies is now just damsel in distress material.
Yeah, that's true. And I mean, to be fair, I mean, Han was a wall ornament for how long, too? It's not like Leia was the only one who got screwed by Jabba.
And that's what I mentioned, too, which was great, where she started off by saving him. Then, even though she was enslaved, she still served a purpose, because I feel like some movies or some shows, as much as I could say that I love them, would have a situation where she'd just be the trapped, scared woman, like, oh no, please save me, Luke.
And it's not like Luke had to run into the chamber where Jabba was, kill Jabba and save Leia. No, she was already out and on top of the deck by the time Luke was done cleaning up the guards. He's like, oh, all right, you're here, good, blow up the deck and let's get out of here.
Also, by the way, I think we really have to, because we mentioned how strong Luke was, but I think I really need to word it properly. The way Luke walked in there with the black cloak, for lack of a better word, was gangster as fuck. We really have to just sit there and just think about him walking in there, and even throughout the entire you're gonna die, Jabba, you have one more chance.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there, I'm like,
course,
wow.
Yeah.
This guy. Yeah,
I mean, because And it's, I don't know. I'm trying to think. Like, I really do wonder if Luke had to hold back. You know?
Because I think at certain points he had to. Yes. One thing. Yes.
Although he did actually, because before he falls into the Rancor pit, he did, use the Force and grab the blaster. I'm assuming he was either going to hold Jabba at gunpoint and be like, all right, release them, or I put this between your eyes.
Yes.
Or what?
One thing I wonder, do you think that that Lando Calrissian, go fuck yourself? Sorry, that's a reference from the last movie. It's a little bit calmer now, but sorry, it's still there.
Yeah.
Do you think Lando, they planted him there? And I know it's like, well, Matt, of course they did. It was the plan. But it felt like they didn't know who Lando, like, that he was actually there. Because we saw him there, but no one really interacted with him in any kind of way until he was, like, on the actual thing with them. And
no,
like,
he looked over it. I don't know if I feel like Luke would have. I feel like Luke would have known.
It makes sense if he did. It makes sense if he did because
Lando
and
I'm pretty
and
sure
were there for a while.
Yeah. Then they must like Lando, Chewie, and Leia all must have met up before going in because remember Leia is the one who brings Chewie in.
Right, that's true. Thank you. Because it was so interesting to me because the way it was shown to us was just, Lando and Chewie have been, they've been here forever. We don't know where they are. Beep,
I
boop,
get the
boop,
feeling
boop.
It's because 3PO just doesn't know what's going on.
I love that. Just let's not tell 3PO because he can't
lie.
He will blab. Lie about what? Lie about what, Luke? Did you know that in the 5th grade, Luke? Okay, everyone, let's not.
I am fluent in over 6 million forms of communication. You don't think lying is a part of that, bitch?
Just like lying should be the first part of communication. Also, I feel like Han would use that word and then Leia would slap him. So thank you for quoting Han and saying that word. To be like Leia just like slaps him. He's like, hey. Yeah. I feel like Han knows when he deserves it. Like he doesn't really say like, why'd you hit me? He's like, yeah, I know. I get it. I respect that. That's what I like about Han.
I'm sure it's not the first time.
No, and it won't be the last.
No.
No. But anyway, I love C-3PO so much because just, dear God, like I love that R2-D2 had the entire plan and 3PO was just like, we have a gift.
Yeah. Like, what do you mean we're the gift?
Yeah, I love that too. Just like, we're the gift. Like, you're playing the wrong recording. Just beep boop bah.
Yeah.
Man?
And it's funny.
Like, R2-D2 was so fucking chill. Like, he was
because Luke's lightsaber is inside R2, too.
No. R2 knows everything, but that's what's just so funny about it. Like, R2 just like, beep, like, usually it's like, beep, boop, beep, beep. It's like, beep, boop, boo, boop, boo, man, boo. Like, just, come on, man, be cool. And just
R2, you're playing the wrong message.
And you just have C-3PO just like, R2, what are you doing? R2, don't leave me. And R2 just like I love R2 also too. The robots are just like, you will learn, you will listen. Beep, boop, boop. Like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah,
You're
pretty
just
much.
Like, you will.
You're a feisty little one.
Yeah. No, I love that in my head every single time R2 talks, just, he has to curse. Like, I don't think Chewie does, maybe a little bit. But, like, every single time, like, R2 talks, I feel like it's just like he's laying down part of a diss rap that he has written in his own head. Like, no, seriously, like, he's just like, man, I'm about to school you. Like, each and every time he talks to someone, he's just it's just, they're,
I mean, to be completely honest,
what?
Like, R2 and 3PO have seen a lot of shit. I mean, they've been around since the Clone Wars.
Oh, yeah, no, it's true. It's just, but weren't they, but weren't, whose memory was erased? Wasn't it
3PO's memory was wiped. R2's wasn't.
That's
because
even
no
funnier
one
me.
thinks, the Astro Droid's gonna remember,
Right, yeah.
Because it's not programmed for etiquette and protocol like somebody, but there you go.
God. Yeah, you can tell that it's not fucking programmed for etiquette and protocol. The way R2 just mouths off. You can tell.
I mean, I'm sure R2 has sass in almost every other sentence.
It's just hilarious. No, like, I just imagine just, C-3PO is just like, oh, look, the ruins weren't destroyed. That means we can build a school there. And also just hear beep, boop, beep, like, yeah, I can school your ass. R2. It's just, I feel like at one point R2 has said, get down here and say that to my face, to C-3PO.
Right.
But 3PO doesn't have the joints in his legs, so he can't actually go down there. Yeah,
exactly.
But anyway, so getting back to the actual fucking plot, the things that actually happened. We have another DBZ reference in this movie, or rather, we had a Star Wars reference in DBZ. So the Rancor pit happened on Babidi's ship.
Oh God, yeah, with Yakon.
No, yeah, that was basically the Rancor pit, man. Yeah. No, yeah, I don't. It's funny because you're such a huge fan of both. I mean, anyone listening to this, you probably heard our other podcasts that we've done on Dragon Ball Z movies and junk. So it's really funny how it's just like, yeah, Tristan, that Toriyama is clearly a fan. Because and that was way later in DBZ too. So we can't even no one can try to say, oh, but what if it happened at the same time? It was way later.
Yeah.
That was like Majin Buu Saga. So, and we're talking about in Japan's release. We're not talking about, like, some people might think, oh, DBZ was released there for. Yes, it was. So, but still, this movie came out in 83, and Dragon Ball, like, the original came out in 80. So that was around, like, I think early 90s when, it was wrapping up with Majin Buu stuff.
Right.
Well, mid. But anyway, point is that it's just really funny to me that it's kind of just, you see this. Even though I'm rewatching it, but it's been a very long time. But I'm watching this and I'm just like, oh yeah, the Rancor pit, and then the monster comes out and I'm like, that's from Dragon Ball. And I'm like, come on, just throw your saber in there. Just use a big saber blast. Come on, you can do it. Come on, Luke. All jokes aside, could Luke use the Force to push the blast, like the saber, or possibly even a blast from a gun out of it?
Wait.
Do you see what I'm saying?
You mean
here?
like?
Okay, because like the lightsaber, like the energy.
You're saying
from
like
the
if he stabbed the Rancor and then Force pushed it through him?
Either that or extend the length of the saber, not necessarily making more energy. Just I'm really bringing Dragon Ball Z physics into here, and just the idea of like harnessing that energy into a ball.
I don't think so. No.
Well, it's going to be in The Force Awakens.
Oh God, yeah. I mean,
no, it won't.
If anything, I would say if he stabbed the Rancor and then Force pushed the blade completely, like through and out the other end, yeah, I could see that happening, but I don't think that would really be Luke's thing to do.
No. So yeah. Okay, so we move on from that. So talking about Yoda, I think Yoda would do it. Talking about Yoda, this is the movie where Yoda starts doing all of his Yoda-isms. Now, I know that he did some in Empire Strikes Back, but he was, I was actually looking this up a lot because I started to hear it so much in this one, where in the last one it existed. But this was the movie where just out of nowhere, in my opinion, it's just so much more of, like just, this is a sentence. It is. Like, stuff like that. Right? Like, just so much of it to the point where I thought, like, and then, he got serious in this movie when, on his deathbed talking about how don't go to the dark side, there's nothing there for you, and then his sentences were normal, right?
Right.
So it's so intriguing to me that, it happened in that way because even, it was very interesting because Frank Oz, the guy who, the puppeteer, as well as the voice actor, was saying how, the character is more so, he speaks in that way so that he can get you to pay attention, right?
Right.
More so. But at the same time, it's also him slipping because, he's been doing this for a while, et cetera, et cetera. I want to find the exact quote. But the point is that it's so interesting how in the prequels, right, and not to sit here because I'm not talking about them yet. We'll talk about them more when we actually do. But the idea that the prequels, in a weird way, got it wrong, because it's funny. Just like they got everything else wrong. Thank you guys from the Muppets. Thank you. But No, like that's all I can hear. Just like they got everything else wrong. Oh, so thank you, other guy from Muppets in the balcony. But still, just the idea that you go back to the prequels and everything is just like attack and defend. We must. And all, like, to the point where it's complete nonsense at some points, because I was looking up some perimeter defend we must or something like that, and it was like, what are you doing? That's not even a sentence. Because you would think his English would be better when he's around, or whatever language you consider it, because, it doesn't have to be English.
Yeah.
The Star Wars language would be better.
I mean, it's usually referred to basic, I think, in the Star Wars universe. Yes,
thank you. It would be more, but basic, as in what Yoda uses, would be closer to what everyone else is using. Not everyone, but other people are using.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Right.
So it was very interesting that they ended up for the prequels just going, you know what? Remember the Yoda thing that everyone, everyone loved doing? Let's just, fucking do it to the extreme. And I was like, oh, okay. But it's very, very interesting that that they ended up kind of doing that. But moving away from that, so you notice though that he did it a lot in this movie.
Right.
Like, how do you feel about that? Because in my opinion, like he went from like doing his Yodaism, his basic, very, very, it was very basic in a weird way, to say like very, slight, like maybe a little bit here, maybe a little bit there. In this movie, he just went full on. Just I switch up sentences. I do.
I mean, I don't know. I guess I just kind of accepted that's the way that Yoda spoke, like kind of right off the bat. I never really like thought about it that hard. I didn't actually notice that you're right. He does do it a lot more in the prequels than he does in the original trilogy until you brought it up.
Okay, good. Because it was funny. I was like, please tell me you noticed it though. Now you do. But,
No, you're right, and
cool.
It is weird.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know.
No. Yeah, no. I mean, some people try to call it a parody, and I'm just like, oh, well, like the prequels. And I'm like, well, I don't want to go for a parody. I don't want to call it a parody. I think that's a little rude. But yeah, the idea that they just kind of went like from 1 to 10. Just from like 1 to just 50 Yoda. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, it is kind of weird.
But I mean, hey, you know what? It happens. Yoda's Yoda.
Yeah.
You would just assume that when he's younger, it would be changed up, But anyway, okay, so how do you feel about Obi-Wan coming back again? Because I'm going to tell you how I feel, because I think you might know how I feel if you're listening to these two shows. How do you feel about Obi-Wan coming again to say hello?
I mean, granted, this time it's, even before, it's very few and far between, if you really think about it, that he actually speaks to Obi-Wan or sees his ghost,
right?
His force ghost, which is actually something we'll probably talk about later in Revenge of the Sith. But he actually has to train to be able to learn how to do that. Like, not all Jedi can do that. That's actually a very rare trait. So
that's interesting.
Yeah.
So, and of course, like you mentioned, that's why it was just like, I will become more stronger in death than you'll ever know. Because it was like, no, he really meant it.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like Obi-Wan really only comes out at specific points where he really feels like, I probably need to talk to Luke. And that whole point where, why didn't you tell me about my father, the truth about my father? And he's like, well, I mean, okay, fair enough. I didn't tell you the physical truth, but I told you the, how to word it, I guess the mentality of it, because in a way, like Obi-Wan does say it, a lot of the truths that we hold dear, really depend on our point of view. And it really is true. It really does. And in a sense, what Obi-Wan told Luke, granted, not maybe the best way of going about it, but not exactly wrong either. Because for all intents and purposes, Anakin really did cease to be Anakin Skywalker when he turned to the dark side and became Vader, because Anakin would have never done all these terrible things. It was this other personality that was brought out in him. A weird way to like kind of sidestep, like, oh, he did all these terrible things. I'm not trying to say that either. Like, he did some awful things that cannot really be, can't be undone. But the fact that at the end, I mean, I kind of jumping around a bit, but the fact that he does redeem himself in a way, he does try at the end to revert back to the person that he was. Not that he ever really could, but in a way, not letting it continue, not passively sitting there and letting his son die at the hands of the Emperor like he's done so many
Which
others.
was really nice. It was nice to have that, to have them turn. One thing I want to mention, though, so I want to get back to Yoda.
But you were talking about
the
Obi-Wan.
exact thing about, I want to get back to Yoda, but I'm going to talk about Obi-Wan.
Okay.
The reason why I feel the way that I feel, just, because I want to look at my exact quote, just because I want to see the note that I wrote down, because it was very rude, but it was extremely accurate of my feelings. It was, damn it, Obi-Wan, stay dead. Jesus, I'd rather you just go away. Now, let me explain. I feel like we should have had time to let the death of Yoda sink in. Also,
right.
The idea is that the thing is, too, it's just that it feels like it's just, so you have Obi-Wan come back, it's just like, oh, why couldn't you bring Yoda? Because apparently everyone can do this. But really, the idea is more so that, you would hope that, here's the thing, too, by the way. When it happens during life or death situations, I understand it. Or when the conversation is extremely brief. Would have been like, Luke, I don't have much time. You have a sister, right. Luke. What? I have a sister? You do. Whoosh. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. But it was kind of just like, you know what, Luke? Let's talk about life. When a man loves a woman very much, like how I feel about Leia, no. Never. You will never. What's your problem? What's your problem, Ben? You will fucking never. Like, just
now
just
speaking
the
backwards.
What?
Nothing.
Did I change it up? It doesn't matter. It doesn't. Yoda's just behind him. Good. Keep saying it that way. You must. Anyway, so all I know is just. It's just all jokes aside. It really was just like a complete. Like you could have talked about the birds and the bees. You could have been like, Luke could have been like, I'm really hungry. I want to go for a burrito. Nah, go for the taco. Thank you, Obi-Wan. Like I feel like he's just there for every single fucking life decision Luke ever wants to make ever again.
I guess, yeah. I mean, I think for this it was just kind of like Luke kind of confronting Obi-Wan and being like, all right, tell it to me straight this time, damn it.
You know what it is, too, I think? I think it's just also a thing where, like, I think the child psychologist, the whole, like, the kids need to have confirmation of something to, like, pick it up or whatever. Like, I feel like in this case, the kids would have been able to get, like, because of the way the last two movies worked, they worked in a way that even, again, we talked about them by accident, right, in a way. Because, up until the second movie, they didn't know that, that Luke's dad was going to be Darth Vader. But,
right.
Excuse me. But the point is that while they didn't know that, it still worked out well because he said, he killed your father. And then Yoda, it's like, and you just had to have Yoda confirm it. Oh, wait, so he really is my dad? Mm-hmm. And then you had the scene later with him and, Vader just, I feel like we didn't have to have that much time with Obi-Wan. Because I understand, like, give it to me straight. But again, give it to me straight. Well, I'm dead. No, not that.
Yeah, I mean,
like, I don't know,
it could have been given to him from Yoda, too, I guess. Yeah.
It was, though, because he confirmed it with Yoda. Yeah. But then he had to double confirm it. Like, so you're saying you lied to me. That I did. Well, you know what? You're going to get payback one day. I'm dead, Luke. Well,
when I'm dead, I'm going to give you
such... Yeah. Well, it looks like we're even then. I can still flick you from the afterlife, you little shit. No, you can't. Ow.
Ow.
Ow, stop flicking me. Stop dead flicking me. Stop dead flicking me.
Don't worry. The Emperor is going to give it to you worse. Wait, what? Later.
Yeah. That too, by the way, also, it's really hard to bring a character back like that when he doesn't show up. Like, you kind of like, Luke, I will help you now. What about when I see the Emperor later? You're on your own. Like, just I'm outie. Like, why? You can come help me then. You can come help me then.
I mean, to be completely honest, what would you want an intangible ghost to do?
I don't know. Give him fighting advice. Give him advice. He clearly used to be a good fighter.
Well, yeah, but I mean...
Here's the thing,
I don't know. That's kind of like in boxing when you have, your trainer in the corner saying, quit ducking, put him up and then punch him. Come on, that kind of thing. It's like with a lightsaber, if you make one mistake, you're kind of screwed, no matter what your trainer is telling you.
That's true. All right, I'll give you that. I thought you were going to go for the whole. It seems like it's hacks, like it's just completely God mode, and it's too much. And I was going to say that I was going to tell you that is true.
No.
It does feel like it would be too much.
Well, okay. I mean, yeah.
But no, what I was going to say, I feel like it would be too much, but at the same time, that's why it's really hard when you bring up the idea that like anyone can just come back as a ghost and stuff, because at least with Dragon Ball Z, it was just, hey, you're gonna Toriyama made sure to put certain rules on it where it's just like, you can only come back this amount of times from life. No, because like up until Namek came into play.
Yeah. And
even when it did, still it was off world. So the idea was you can only come back a certain amount of times from the main Earth Dragon Balls. Right? If you don't know about the story, that's kind of the Dragon Balls can bring you back to life. What? And if you're on King Kai's planet, who somewhat resembles Yoda, what? In my opinion, anyway. You can talk through him, but you're not going to show up there and just be like, I can do this whenever I damn want to.
Yeah.
Damn it, I'm trying to pee, Obi. I'm sorry, I just don't think your stream looks as good as you'd like. You should probably go to a space doctor. Dude, I'm trying to pee.
I wouldn't say that he could do it whenever he wanted to.
I know, but it felt like he could. I'm sure he was saving it for moments, but it felt like he was just able to do it a lot. Or at least a lot more than I'd like.
If you want a canon source for that explains that kind of thing a little bit more, the Clone Wars series actually does, the last season that they did, because Yoda actually goes on this whole quest on his own to try and figure out a few things about what's going on, because everything is so, effed up and he can't really foresee the future. But, because, I mean, even Yoda mentions it at the end of Revenge of the Sith, too. Qui-Gon is able to do it, too, and that's where Obi-Wan learns it from, and Yoda as well. They both, it's not something that every Jedi can do. Only a few have found the way to train themselves to be able to do it. Because it's basically saying, like, once you die, you become one with the Force. But you lose, everything that made you you. You're just part of the universe at that point. There's no consciousness, there's no physical body. You are part of something greater kind of idea behind it. But with a specific training, you can, for however it's done, because they don't really reveal how it's done, but that it's something you work towards, that you can keep your consciousness together. You can retain the part that is you even after you die, and so you can project yourself and your thoughts through the Force.
I like that idea. So here's something I want to mention, something you might consider funny.
Okay.
At one point, speaking, because we're still on Obi-Wan, there was a point when in the original script, so I mentioned the original scripts before, not mentioning Obi-Wan, Ewoks are going to be Wookiees. The Millennium Falcon would have been used in the arrival at the forest moon of Endor, and this one is about Obi-Wan. He would have actually been brought back to life. Okay. Yeah. So So would you have preferred if he had come back to life instead
What,
of being
Obi-Wan?
a ghost? 'Cause, yes.
Or Anakin?
No, Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan would have been brought back to life. Yeah. Obi-Wan Kenobi.
No, I would not be okay with that.
Well, then you're good. Also, apparently, there was a slight chance that Harrison Ford would not have been able to come back.
Huh.
So, yeah. So either he wouldn't have been able to come back at all, so that would have been his end in the Carbonite,
Right.
or he would
Oh.
have came back, and he would have came back, yes. So that would have been his end, second movie done. Or
Wow.
he would have came back, and he asked if when they were on the, like somehow, because I don't know, like, if they had known that it was going to be through Jabba yet, but
Yeah.
he had suggested that Han Solo be killed through self-sacrifice in the middle of the movie, and Lucas was extremely against it.
Yeah. I mean, that would have been interesting, like, say, if they were at the, when they were trying to take the shield generator down. I mean, that would have been more towards the end of the film, but that would have been
I was
interesting.
just saying. Yeah, that would have been interesting, but, like, if we would have been on
Although
Jabba's
that
palace, I don't
that
know.
would have, yeah, that would have affected Leia's character a lot.
Oh, yeah. She would not have been as smiley at the end. I pray to God
No.
she would not have just been like, oh, well. Oh, my God, it would have been Han's. Oh, good God, the edits would have Han's ghost next to the rest of them, even though he is not part of the Force. I mean, he is part of the Force technically because everything is, but he is not a user
Right,
the way
exactly.
Yoda, the way Yoda, Obi-Wan and Hayden Christensen are. So
Right.
he was edited into the new movie. Tristan.
Yes, I know.
Yes, he was. We'll talk about that
And-
soon, but yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Also, apparently the movie was supposed to end like a spaghetti western, where Luke would have actually walked off alone, like the hero, just like, like this is what would have happened. But Lucas was like, no, let's all party.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
No, I
Sort of
mean,
been like
I
him
like the
walking
fact
alone
that
at
everyone
sunset.
gathered together to celebrate at the end.
I think this is the one to celebrate, I guess. It's just also weird because it's just like Luke's, Luke saw all the ghosts and he was like, yeah, we're happy now, I guess. But it's always a weird situation when they all party. I mean, at least they all pretty much got out alive. But it's a weird situation
Yeah,
when they all
exactly.
party.
And I mean, I think the big
this was the one to do
celebration,
it, I guess.
the big celebration at the end of, this one, I think is more appropriate, seeing as how they've actually destroyed the Emperor, which was really the whole reason for the attack.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like the real reason they went after this Death Star right then and there is because, hey guys, the Emperor himself is going to be on this thing. Let's take it out now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, granted, you don't want the Death Star floating around the galaxy anytime soon again anyway, but I feel like the fact that they kind of, like, because it basically feels like this is, everyone's kind of throwing their cards on the table at this point.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I'm pretty sure the Empire is hurting in some ways, just in the sense of, like, economic, like, failure in a way,
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, they already built one Death Star. Now they're trying to build a second one that's, even bigger and badder. It's like, that can't be good for your economy.
No. There are people starving. It always affects
exactly.
It always affects the 99%, which sucks. The 1% is just fine. The Emperor's eating like fucking, like a king.
Yeah.
Like an emperor.
Yeah.
By the way,
and I mean,
so,
they even say, like that, the fleet that holds the rest of the rebellion there, the Star Destroyers, that's not even the entire Imperial Navy either. Like, the one, Mon Mothma actually says during their briefing before the mission that the Death Star isn't that well guarded. I mean, granted, it still was, but that most of the Imperial Navy is out searching the galaxy for the rebellion.
Yeah.
And the rebels, even themselves, kind of split their forces because they send an attack to another planet, Sullust, in order to try and distract the Empire from saying, "Oh, we're going to hit this, we're going to hit this Imperial target over here," instead of them saying, "Oh yeah, we're going for the Death Star," which kind of backfired in both ends. But yeah, there's actually a game that talks about that attack that I actually really enjoyed, but that's something else completely different.
Well, just mention
it was Star Wars Battlefront Renegade Squadron. It was.
I think I've played Renegade Squadron a little bit. PS2,
yeah, it was
right?
for the PSP.
Oh, well then maybe not. Maybe I played Rogue Squadron. Maybe I don't know anything.
I mean, Rogue Squadron is another good one, but.
Well, here's what I do know. That at least, then again, I don't know. It's my opinion. It's both about Luke and Leia. I was really kind of frustrated. Luke was just like, yeah, in a way, I always knew she was my sister. Like, sort of.
Oh, God.
Like, don't feed him that. Don't feed him that crap, Obi-Wan. Same thing with Leia. It's just like, somehow I've always known. No, you haven't. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I'd rather the characters, because we talked about this because I hadn't seen this movie in a while, so I forgot about that interaction, right? So to me, we talked about this the last two movies where it was like, you know what? I think on the second movie, the last episode, we took it as, you know what? Fine, we'll accept that they just don't know. Right? They just have no fucking idea, and we're good. But this is the weirdest situation to be like, in a way, I always knew.
Even I'll admit.
Even
I'll admit I have to draw the line somewhere. That line now makes it weird. Although I don't think they were specifically thinking of that when they were both talking to each other at that point. I think it was more of a general feeling of, there is something connecting us, not romantically per se, but or there's some kind of connection between us, I think was supposed to be the intention. But I'll admit that
especially
line
because
is
they
a
went
little
for that
much.
No, because they went for that connection later when it was just like, I feel that he's here. And of course, and then you still had Han having to be like, give him the awkward lines. It was like, please stop. Please don't let Han talk anymore. Please don't. Please don't.
Yeah.
Because all of us remember. Because, no. His reaction was hilarious when it was like, Han, he's my brother. Oh. As long as it shouldn't Chewie, we're pretty good right now.
Oh, God.
No, but Lando,
I wonder,
as long as you're not interested in Calrissian.
Like, it's funny. I wonder if that scene in Empire Strikes Back, because Han kind of looks like what? Like, I wonder if that scene flashes through his head, like all the fans, or like you are saying right now. I wonder if that flashes through his head, like, what? And then he realizes, no, wait, the important part is that means she's mine. Yay!
That moment when he's just kissing her and he's just like, wait a minute, the important part is I probably shouldn't ask to meet her family.
Oh, gosh.
Imagine, so I've heard you want to take out my daughter.
I mean... okay, I see.
Yeah. What are your intentions with my daughter?
Because I was going to say her foster family was on Alderaan, I'm assuming. I mean, Bail Organa is her foster father, but he's probably long dead because Alderaan went kablooey.
No, I was just Han. Well, at least you know that your family is, not dead. My father is also Vader. Okay. It's kind of a tough, this is awkward.
I mean, because how do you think Luke must have felt when he had to break it? It's like, he's my father. She's like, oh, God, he's your father? He's like,
hey, don't be judgmental.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, yeah, about that. Maybe, I don't know how the order of this should have gone, really.
You know that random romantic tension that sometimes pops up? She's like, honestly, I feel like I'd take you now. 'Cause you... Luke, why are you shivering? Hi. Just like I feel like it's at that moment. He's just going. Could you just? Like, what are you doing with your voice?
No, he just turns around and goes.
Yeah.
He just turns around and goes, God damn it, Ben! Why didn't you tell me?
Yeah. Use the Force, something, Luke. Like you're just phoning it in now. Pretty much, Luke. That was, in a way I've always known. You probably shouldn't have kissed me, woman. Probably should not have done that. But anyway, so we had Akbar, and it begins. And it begins.
I mean, it's kind of funny, like, I don't know. I mean, everyone always remembers Admiral Akbar for, famous line, it's a trap. Ha 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 ha, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't understand why. I guess it's just the tone of his voice, how he says it. Everybody thinks it's so hilarious and ridiculous.
Oh, that's
I really never found
anything
anything that funny about it.
Oh, it's not that it's funny. It's that the internet is able to make anything into a meme, and they just take it. I mean, think about it, right? Never Gonna Give You Up, hilarious. Not originally.
Right. Okay.
Not the way it's used today, or well, not today. I don't think it's a relic right now, but still, the idea of the way that meme was used. So it's not that It's a Trap is funny. It's just like, it could just be like, I don't know, like, I mean, like, to make it more PG, I guess it could just be like, let's say your significant other. It's just like, I want to talk to you about something. It's a trap. Yeah. Right? It's just like, so that's it'll be something like that. Like, it's just like, my significant other said, we really need to sit down and have a talk, and I found nothing wrong with that. What do you think, Internet? Yeah, what do you think, Internet? It's a trap. So
I mean,
that's how it
to
is.
be honest, I mean, everyone who's joined the rebellion really has seen some shit, and anyone who's there, fighting on the front line has a damn good reason to be there. I mean, from the general mythos behind it or other literature or anything, or from what I remember, Akbar, his home planet, Mon Calamari, the Empire actually enslaved his entire people and used them as, slave labor to make, Imperial Star Destroyers, because I guess they had the shipyards built there and they had the technology to do it. But he actually escaped from the Empire, and I don't know if they actually freed his homeworld at one point or whether it was just him and a few other of his followers that escaped. But a lot of the cruisers, like the big cruiser Home 1 that you see, that's Mon Calamari made. Those are, Mon Calamari starships. So they were big backers for, the rebellion for what they could give. So, I mean, I just find it interesting that everyone always remembers Akbar as, the funny it's a trap guy when he's really a pretty big admiral in the rebellion,
Oh, yeah. Well, no, I mean, again, you're able to just take something, and again, it's memes.
Yeah.
That's the internet, man. The internet.
Right.
But we saw him, the man, the legend, Mr. It's a Trap guy. That's all his name is.
Thank you.
Just invalidating everything you just said. No, but seriously, I get you, man.
I could say that for any of the, non-humanoid, or not humanoid, because they're all sort of humanoid, non-human species in the rebellion, because that's what the rebellion really draws on, because the Empire, shuns away anyone who's not human, technically, or, that kind of thing.
Good point.
The Empire is incredibly, I mean, you'd call it speciesist at that point. But non-humans are incredibly, oppressed and frowned upon, and probably all sorts of other horrible things.
That is extremely accurate.
So, the rebellion uses that as a strength to kind of unite people against the Empire. Like, look, we're all living in this galaxy together. If we work together, we could probably make things better for everybody instead of just, humans,
No, I get that. And
I feel like that's the whole piece with why the Ewoks were such a big thing. Or, so even if, I mean, I know you had said originally the idea was to make them Wookiees, but I feel like making them, in a way, yes, making them small and cute, marketing, blah, 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 for the kids. But at the same time, you have these small, cute, little furry teddy bears basically running around with spears and arrows. It's like, Imperial stormtroopers, they're going to be nothing. But, I mean, an ambush is an ambush, and, hey, to see them actually succeeding against the Empire, because that's not to take away from the stormtroopers, because that's going to be the next argument. The stormtroopers couldn't fend off a few teddy bears in the woods. It's like, to be fair, they used the terrain against them. And
yeah,
you know,
I mean, it's guerrilla warfare.
even
at
if
its finest.
yeah, exactly. If you get the jump on someone, no matter how well they're trained, I mean, you still got the jump on them. And they separated them.
It's the idea. Yeah, it's the idea of like, you know, like, oh, someone knows how to fight, you know, but you're in a street fight with them and you get the first punch. It's like you do have to hope that first punch takes them down.
Right.
But,
yeah, exactly.
But that was your first punch over them, and you
yeah.
know, they might. Yeah. So I get it. I was actually a little worried when I first saw. Okay, so when the Ewoks were trying to trap everyone, right before they realized that C-3PO was their god.
Oh yeah, that could have.
I thought. No. You know why I got freaked out? With the dead animal, I thought that was the Empire trying to trap them with a skinned Ewok, and I was like, did they just fucking skin an Ewok? And I was like, no, that's just another animal. No, because that's the scariest thing. They show one Ewok, and the next one in the movie's like skin. I'm like, thank you guys, psychologists, where are you? But also, I hate how C-3PO was only trying to help them after Leia's like, you know, you really have to help them. Tell them to stop. And I was like, yeah. Like, 3PO, what are you doing? You took a while to kind of...
You see, Master Luke, of course they wouldn't listen to me. It's like, you're their fucking god. You command them to not do it. And apparently they don't exactly look up to him as too much of a god anyway, because they didn't listen to him in the first place.
It's really interesting. They consider him a god, but I think they consider him like a god of, you know, there are certain, religions that believe in, you know, multiple gods, and some gods, you know, are more pacifist. So if that specific god ever, like, was actually able to come down and say, do this or feel my wrath, what wrath? You're our gold god. You're not the god of anger. And all of a sudden it's like, you know, you have Luke use the Force, and they're just like, oh my god! Oh my gold god! Yeah.
Yeah.
Though I have to admit, it was a little... Here's the thing. I think if they were Wookiees, I'd be like, oh, it makes sense because, you know, we see that Chewbacca, while not being like a buffoon, he doesn't speak their language. So, like, I don't know. It felt weird making them... Because I've heard some idea, like some talk of the Ewoks being a bit more like... As if they are an indigenous tribe, and it's a little bit, I guess, racist, if you want to use the word, because, you know, it's like, oh... They are in the forest, and, you know, no one's ever talked to them, and they don't know any, you know, where it's just like we don't really have, like, a lot, like, we don't, like, it's hard for me to explain without, because it's just because I've heard a lot of it, and it feels a little weird to me when watching it, even though I know that they're supposed to be, like you know, you and I said, like, cute for the children and teddy bears, but the whole idea of, like, a spear chucker, it's just like, ooh, that, like, it gives you the wrong kind of vibe.
I guess.
I mean, I think it's just different times and things like that. You know, nowadays we're kind of just like, because, you know, it's 2015. I mean, we're doing this in 2015. You know, this movie came out in the early 80s, you know, and, but I feel like it would have been a bit more appropriate, I guess, if they were Wookiees. They were Chewbacca's people.
I mean, if that were the case, Chewbacca wouldn't, I don't think he would have had any problem communicating with them. I feel like, the rest of them would have had even more difficulty, like, trying to get them, like, hey, can you help us out? I think the Wookiees would be like, nah, get the fuck off our planet.
But you need to help us so that we could fight. I feel like Han and Chewie would have probably been bigger in that scene than C-3PO would
probably.
have been.
Because, I mean, you do see the Wookiees fighting with the clone troopers in Revenge of the Sith. And the whole thing is, right, you know, we saved the Wookiees from being enslaved by the droid armies and being destroyed there, and they were real help, and they were great in battle, you know. And then, of course, the Empire turns around and says, nah, we're going to use you for slave labor, and the Wookiees are like, wait, what? You just, wait, what? And then proceed to get slaughtered by blaster bolts. Yeah.
On to something that isn't as sad, but actually, no, it's not true. I'm talking about someone whose mom died at birth. Leia mentioned remembering images and feelings of her mom, but her mom died during childbirth. So
yeah, I mean, technically Leia was born first, but again, that really.
I mean, again,
those
she
are some
does
pretty
have the
strong
Force,
feelings. I mean,
that's what I'm gonna say. Yeah, she does have the Force, but other than that, it's kind of just like
Luke does too, so why he wouldn't have felt anything is odd too. Yeah, I don't really know how to describe that scene.
It was very interesting because it shows you, and I'm not going to try and sit here and try to be like, Lucas ruined the original trilogy, well, not the original, technically the original by making the prequels, and blah, blah, blah. We're not going to get into that right now. We don't have the time. We shouldn't really get into that. What I do want to mention is just that, yeah, I do think this is one of those scenes where, in my opinion, it felt like they didn't take notes down. Some people didn't take notes down, and they thought that the childbirth scene would be not cooler, because, again, it sounds weird to use the word cool, but, you know, it would seem better in the moment, like, you know, as just on screen and, you know, dramatic.
Right.
It would be very dramatic and tense. And it was.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was all of those things. But I feel like from that, it does throw stuff like this a little bit out there, because even at this point, they didn't really say that Luke and Leia were twins.
Right.
Just that Luke and Leia are brother and sister. You could argue, at least I would think, that Leia would be older.
Right. And it's not until Vader actually says you're twins that...
Right. But yeah, so it was a very interesting... So, I mean, at least he did mention that. Good. But still, then, again, that calls into question, like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
You know, like, how do you...
I mean, you know, granted, the movies were... Yeah, like you said, you know, somebody didn't take the right notes down. I mean, the movies were pretty decently spaced apart, so an oversight here and there, you know, shit's gonna happen. So, you know,
I mean, you appreciate the original trilogy more than you do the newer one. That I know. So I mean,
yeah. I mean, even as a kid,
I know
like
you
watching.
What?
Because it's funny, like my dad actually asked me that one day, because he had seen, you know, the original trilogy when it came out when he was younger.
Mm-hmm.
And when he took me to see The Phantom Menace when it came out, he asked me, like, oh, so what did you think? Do you like these more than the old ones? And I'm like, I mean, even as a kid, I was like, I enjoyed the movie when it came out, and I still enjoy, you know, the prequels for what they were. But yeah, I still overall, I enjoy the original trilogy, because I don't know, I mean, as a kid and even growing up, I always felt a connection to, you know, Luke Skywalker more than I did, you know, Anakin as a character, as a hero. I mean, that's in my eyes. I've talked to various people who are like, they can't connect to anyone in the films, and I'm like, well, all right.
Oh, that's cool. No, hey, I'll take that. It's just very hard for me to talk to someone who's just like, I love the prequels so much more than the original trilogy. It's extremely hard for me to keep contact.
I don't know if I've ever heard anyone say that. I have heard other people that say they do enjoy the prequels. So, you know, that's nice enough.
I just think saying more. It's just like, it's hard. It's very hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
It would be more of gripes with 1 and 2, like pointing out problems with the prequels, I think would come from more 1 and 2 than it would from 3, because I thought 3 was incredibly well done.
So we're gonna have some fun with that when we watch them and talk about them.
Yes,
so
we are, and I'm sure the audience will too.
Oh, I'm sure everyone listening will. I was really upset that the Ewoks did not combine to make a giant Ewok to take down the walkers, because I sat there and I thought, this is the time. This is the time when all of you connect to each other, hold on to each other's little tiny legs, and become a giant Ewok that punches the walkers in the face. What are they going to do? They can't even turn correctly.
Right. Okay. I mean, I would have honestly thought the Ewoks would have... I mean, okay, maybe not. But, like, I find it funny in a sense that Chewbacca was the one to swing on a vine and jump into the cockpit and do that.
By the way, something about... Oh, I love that so much, by the way. That was the best thing in the world.
Oh, yeah, that was amazing.
Speaking of Chewbacca, with each and every movie, has Chewbacca's face looked more and more, like the hair and everything, and the way, like, when he's trapped and, like, he has his head down, does he look more and more like Michael Jackson to you?
Because I thought you were going to say maybe his face looks more and more feline-like, but...
Maybe that's... I don't know. For some reason, I see the hair, and I'm just like... It's like, reaching out. And I'm just like, huh. And I see him, I see a little bit... Sometimes I see David Bowie, and sometimes I see Gax, and I don't know why. And I'm really confused.
Right. Got
I'm
it.
not even like you. I know you're sitting there. You're like, Matt, you're joking. I'm really fucking not.
No, I know you're not joking. I'm sorry to say I can't relate to that.
I might have to send you some. I'm gonna have to send you clips and pictures, and you're gonna be so mad because the second we do the next show, regardless if it's episode, I hope it's episode 7 because Chewie isn't in episode 1, right?
Right. Yes.
Yeah, I'm hoping next one we do is he is in episode 1.
No, he's not.
Oh, okay.
I was agreeing, saying yes, 7. You're right. He is not in the first one.
All right, thank you. Because we'll do episode 7, and you're just gonna be like, I walked into the fucking theater. And I couldn't stop seeing Michael Jackson. And I'm like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
You're like, I was waiting for him to dance like Star Wars Connect, Matt. Do you understand?
Oh, my God.
I'm like,
why
so
did
sorry,
you have to remind me of that?
Do that Han Solo. Anyway.
I will murder you in your sleep.
As long as you're doing the Han Solo while murdering me in my sleep. Actually, you would be doing the Han Solo because Han shot first. I'm kidding. He
exactly.
did. He never fucking did.
I will shoot you before you shoot me because you're asleep.
Okay. Han did shoot first. I was kidding. Everyone's like, wait, is he going against the stance in the first movie? Guess I didn't take any.
Oh my God.
Oh, by the way, so when Luke and Vader were fighting, please tell me to God you noticed that console that was next to them that was basically straight from the TARDIS.
Oh, the circular ones?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was so happy. This movie was made in '83. Like Doctor Who came out in the '60s.
Yeah. Yeah,
I was
guess
so happy.
I mean, I feel like that's pretty vague, but in a sense, yeah,
dude,
that does remind.
No, dude, I have to show you. Like, you have to look at it again. Not that I'm being rude, but like when you look at it, you're like, wait a minute, that's the TARDIS console. No, the actual the buttons and everything.
Right.
It's when they first take out their lightsabers and they're just like, yeah, lightsaber time.
Yeah, no. I know what you're talking about.
It's lightsaber time. That's the quote. And
okay.
So as they're doing it, I'm like, wait, are those? Because the thing is I always, in a lot of sci-fi stuff, I always look out for TARDIS-related material, even in like Japanese stuff. You know, Doctor Who is huge in Japan, even since the 70s. There's actually like Tom Baker clips where he's dubbed in Japanese. And it's really funny because it translated over to, you know, I've mentioned in the previous episodes we've done of like Super Sentai, Kamen Rider, Tokusatsu, you know, the whole Japanese special effects, you know, genre of stuff. And Super Sentai, you know, obviously it's been going on since the 70s, right? So longer than Power Rangers, what Super Sentai became in America, Power Rangers. And there's one series called Flashman. And they're like a team of 5 brothers and sisters that were separated onto 5 planets in space to train through the day to, you know, like just to fight the bad guys. And the bad guys come to Earth. They all get into the same ship. Their mother and father sadly die, but they do come to Earth. And it's really funny because the spaceship that they're in is basically the fucking TARDIS. Right. And I laugh so hard because Flashman, sorry, I almost said Changeman, it's another one. Flashman came out in the 80s. So, you know, it's kind of funny where it's like, Doctor Who aired in Japan, you know, for like the last probably 10 years or so. So, yeah, I mean, think about it. You know, Doctor Who been around since the 60s. This movie came out in 83. You know, it's not like, you know, it's just in the UK. And also it aired at different parts in the US as well. Hell, I mean, you know, there's been some Doctor Who tapes that we thought were lost, but were found in Canada. You know, with like some because what happens is, you know, back in the day you'd have to send the master tapes out to a bunch of, or copies of the tapes to a bunch of different you know, areas, like stations where they would just be like, oh, TV stations. They'd be like, all right, put in the tape and we'll have that play, you know, over the air, you know, over the airwaves. So television reads. And you would just end up, you know, we have so much missing Doctor Who footage from back in the day, and sometimes you'll just find them at the TV stations. They'll be like, oh, yeah, we're clearing some stuff out. Whoa! This is a missing tape. And then people give it to the BBC. So Doctor Who was huge back in the day. I mean, it makes it seem like it's big now because we have the Internet, but it's still been pretty big. Yeah. You know, like for a very long time. So I would not be surprised if it's just like science fiction, you know, inspired by Doctor Who. At least, you know, at least aesthetically. So Vader. before we kind of wrap everything up, I want to talk about Vader. So, it's good that he turned good. Duh. So, I don't know about you, but when I was a kid and Luke took off the mask, I sat there and I thought, wait, isn't his dad black? Because that'd be totally cool if his dad was black, guys. What's going on? Because, I was young at the time, but I thought, that is an African-American male,
Right.
And that's totally cool. And then they just take it off, and it's like, hello, son, I'm a white guy. And I'm like, what? What was your take on that? Because it was so strange to me that they just did not have James Earl Jones under...
Being the man in the suit, yeah.
Yeah.
I found it interesting that there were two different people, playing the same character. One was voicing the character, the other was actually, the man in the suit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know. As a kid, I guess I really didn't think that hard about it.
Mm-hmm. I understand that. It just confused me as a kid. I was like, oh, okay. But anyway, but no, it's fine. I mean, one thing I do want to say is another DBZ reference. So the core that Han Solo and everyone else destroyed, all you have to do is fucking put Cooler's face in the middle of it from Return of Cooler. And that's literally the fucking inside of the Death Star.
Okay. Oh, so wait, you said Han. You mean Lando and Wedge.
My bad. In my head, I'm just like, it was the Millennium Falcon. Of course Han. No, he didn't.
Han. Wait, he's on the planet.
Yeah, no. In my head, in my head, it's just like, oh, God, no, they did it. In the last movie, they tried to make it so, but it's true. Lando Calrissian wears Han's clothes once, and he becomes Lando Han.
Oh, God.
Lando Han Solo.
I don't know if you noticed, but the other X-Wing pilot that actually fired the, proton torpedoes to take out the core reactor, he was actually in the first Death Star attack, Wedge Antilles.
Oh.
Yeah, he was Rogue 5. Luke was Red 5. I believe Wedge was Red 2, and Biggs Darklighter was Red 3. Biggs got shot down, but Wedge got hit, and he was the one that said, I can't hold them anymore, and Luke tells him, you can't do any more good back there, and he takes off. So then... That's actually really interesting. Yeah, this is Wedge again here later, and he's Red Leader. That's really nice. I like little stuff like that. It's really fun. Yeah. I mean, Wedge has a lot of different, in different stories, Wedge is a really big character in a lot of them, because he's actually an amazing pilot. I think I've heard of Wedge, actually. Him and Luke are actually good friends, too, so... That's what's really funny. I've heard stuff like that in passing, but of course you don't really see much of that in the movies. Yeah, exactly. All right, so we have to, end everything here. So I don't have time to go through all of the different edits that we've had previously. I'm just going to say that they're all terrible. Well, because some of them aren't. Some of them, I told you, in the beginning of the episode, I said, "Oh wow, this was cool," mentioning the the alien character that said that she died, but they actually got the actress back. Really cool, right? Yeah. Not a big fan of having Hayden Christensen. I mean, I'm kind of split on that, because at one sense, I kind of get why they did it, because that is Anakin before he became Darth Vader. Yeah. But at the other sense, you're right. I don't really like the edit. I like the original, or quote unquote, the original, where it's, the character who played Vader in the suit standing there, because it's his return to the light side. So it's kind of a sense of not wiping everything away, the scarring It's three things. You know what it is? It's three things. It's well, I guess, three, why not? If it doesn't become three, fine, I can't count. Here's what it is, right? So that's a good thing to bring up. What I want to bring up is the idea that why weren't you going to just go all the way, right? Get I know it technically is still Yoda no matter what, but it's make Yoda look like he did in 2003, right? and
get the guy that played Obi-Wan. Why? I know it might be like, but Matt, he wasn't that way for the entire... Look, I understand. But my God, it's so inconsistent that it's just like, Death actually was able to make Vader young again.
Right, yeah.
Everybody else, so old as fuck.
Yeah.
Like, why? Why? How is Anakin, how is he just spared from aging in Death? The Force is really nice to Anakin, even though he was an ass. But all of you that have, served the Force for years, you're old and decrepit even in Death.
So I can kind of, I still feel like it's awkward too, but I can see what they were trying to go for.
Me too, but I also don't like the way it looks. Looking at two comparison shots, it looks like somehow the original actually looks better than the new Anakin. I mean, because Palpatine looked good in where they replaced him with the newer actor for Palpatine. That was cool.
Right.
It looked good, right?
Yeah.
In this case, I don't know how. It's just did you really did you not actually film a scene with Hayden Christensen? Did you just take a fucking cardboard cutout and just copy-paste him? Because, I mean, you have to look, I don't know if you've seen the pictures in a while, but when you look at the shot comparison, it just somehow looks like the original actor looks better, even though it was done so long ago, looks better than the new version. And I don't know how, because
it does
look
copy-pasted.
Yeah, and it shouldn't, because it usually would look better, I would argue, because even though it was 2004, another thing, too, by the way, it did suck that, in the early 2000s, we were just learning CGI as well. So even though it's just we can fix the other movies and these movies, just it only got, quote-unquote, better, if you will, it's supposed to be better, when the Blu-rays came out. So I don't know how it would look on the Blu-ray, Hayden Christensen, but I know in 2004, it looks like a really bad copy-paste, Microsoft Paint job.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we're at the end of our show. We ended it on a terrible note. We're at the end of our show. We would like to thank you all for listening into those guys. We went a little bit long, which is funny because I think this isn't the shortest movie. No, this isn't the shortest movie out of the original trilogy, but it definitely isn't the longest. So it's funny. The longest, so in the first one, we kept it, I think in an hour. But this one, she's no, we went long because we can. So, anyway, we would like to thank you all for listening in. We did it. I mean, we finished the original trilogy. Yep. More on the way, of course, because, even when we finish the movies, there's still so much to talk about. I mean, animated series and a lot more. So, this isn't the end of our Star Wars journey. So very interesting stuff. We're not going to, I don't think we should go back and do stuff like, let's watch the Blu-ray too, because I feel like it'll just turn into an endless, it's you and I going, they changed that too.
Yeah, no, that's...
Yeah, it's not something I think we want to do. But definitely, of course, we're going back to the prequel trilogy soon. And, so again, as like I said multiple times, really happy you all listened in, downloaded whatever you might have, done to get this file. But we're going to tell you, just in case you don't know, we have a lot of different ways you can find our older shows. And I mentioned before, we've done Dragon Ball Z shows, Dragon Ball shows, Bleach. I mean, you and I, Tristan, we've done a lot of different anime. And we have also some more anime coming up, in the future. So, and we've also had a lot of other hosts as well. And you can find these episodes of the podcast on our main website, thoseguysontherradio.tumblr.com, as well as our Facebook /thoseguysontherradio, our Twitter @thoseguysradio, and our Instagram /thoseguysontherradio. Constantly posting updates on our social media, with our new shows, when our new shows are coming out and stuff like that. You can also find us on iTunes as well. You can search up Those Guys or Those Guys on the Radio, and you should be able to find our logo with all of our older shows on there. Also, I'm constantly updating our YouTube account with our new episodes. So you go to our YouTube, which is TGOTR or Those Guys on the Radio, search that up, and you should, to the search bar, and you should find our YouTube channel. With 100 podcasts already, though, on our main website, I think we have about 200 plus. So again, we're still in the process of adding more and more. But so we have our YouTube. We also have our Let's Play channel, where both, I mentioned before, Tristan and I have played Star Wars Battlefront for a Thanksgiving special. So you can go on our YouTube channel, TGP, or Those Guys Play, search that up, and you'll find our YouTube channel with a whole bunch of different Let's Plays. I mean, you and I, Tristan, we've already played, we played Hot Wheels Turbo Racing, and Pets Crazy Monkeys. In one episode for Halloween, you and I played Luigi's Mansion.
Yep.
Yeah.
We played Disney's Dinosaur too.
Well, that's coming up. Right. So you can just fucking give all the episodes away if you'd like.
Okay.
Want me to upload the fucking list of everyone's episode that I plan to play with them? I plan to play.
Yes.
No,
maybe.
the game I plan to play on the episode. That's how English works. Oh God, Yoda's infecting me. It is. Oh God, the Force, it flows through me. It does. Wow, Frank Oz, I did not talk about. I didn't. No, Frank Oz. The quote from Frank Oz with Yoda actually was trying to say that, and I was wrong, by the way. The idea is that the Force flows through him, and that is why he speaks in such a way.
Right.
Like, it's natural. It's not like he doesn't think that's just how it flows through him, the language. But that just got way too much in the earlier ones. Unless you're going to say, oh no, the Force was so much stronger with him then. That is why he speaks like this, he must. Anyway, so we have our Let's Play channel. We play Star Wars Battlefront. We do have some more of those coming up. That you can say. More Star Wars Battlefront coming up even. And, again, TGP, those guys play. But, a lot of us, some other hosts that we've gotten on, we've played Dreaming Mary for Halloween with, host Tish Ram. We've played Whispering Willows, 2 indie games. We've also played, I'm trying to think of some more right now, but, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and Kamen Rider for the Super Nintendo. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle for the PS3. And Kamen Rider for Super Nintendo. And again, a lot more stuff on the way. Our season finale should be coming around the end of this month, as well as our Christmas special, our general holiday special, but we'll be, having it come out on Christmas. So a lot of fun stuff coming our way for, TGP, those guys play. We also have our Bandcamp account, which is tgotr.bandcamp.com, where basically, on our Bandcamp account, we have some of our WWE podcasts where I do with Tish Ram. So I do those, and we've done WWE SummerSlam 2005 as well as WWE Unforgiven 2005. You can get those for low price of $1 each or more if you want to support us. You can get those, exclusive podcasts on our Bandcamp, tgotr.bandcamp.com. You and I have some really funny, stuff coming out also on a different Bandcamp that we have using, God, I can never remember what they're called, even though we did them. What are they? What's it called? The riffs. Thank you. It's like, because all I can think of is in podcast terms, because in podcast, so it's like recaps. No. Reviews. No. I'm doing that right now. Brain, what do you want me to say? We have riffs coming out for some Dragon Ball Z episodes. Again, we're huge fans of DBZ. So you have some Dragon Ball Z riffs. Yeah, right. So have some huge, so we're going to have those riffs coming out as well on a different account that we'll post on our social media. And to wrap everything up, we have merchandise as well. You can buy some really fun T-shirts and more, King of Nerd style, a lot of fun stuff. I mean, that's just one design that I really enjoy as a wrestling fan. But a lot of different, wrestling-related T-shirts as well. No Simpy. It's a really fun one that I enjoy. I'll send it to you after the show, Tristan.
Yeah.
There's a lot of really fun stuff that's on, the site that you can look up. And we have 2 different websites. We have Screened, SKREENED screen.com/TGP merchandise, right? And we also have our main website, which is cafepress.com/TGOTR merchandise. So again, you can find us, on screened.com/TGP merchandise to buy one of our shirts. And for the rest of our merchandise, you can find us on cafepress.com/TGP merchandise. And you'll get a lot of really fun shirts and other things there. I mean, we have some teddy bears up as well if you want to give something to the kids or yourself. I mean, teddy bears are fun all around. Yeah. So anything you want to say before we wrap everything up, Tristan?
I think
one final goodbye until the future?
I mean, rebellion forever, but...
We'll see you for another podcast in 30 years.
Okay.
All right. So, So thank you all, and good night.
Yep.
So
until then, may the Force be with you.
And also with you.